Hello YouTube and welcome back to MiahsBug. In this episode, I will be showing you guys how to lay up carbon fiber panels with a mirror finish using resin infusion. This is actually my first time ever doing this process, and I think a lot of you guys can do this if you guys are able to pick up the right materials and spend a little time in the garage to do some learning. Let's get started. As with our last video, we will be using a mirror to lay up our part. The first thing we need to do is clean the mirror and scrape off any old buildup. Then, using our mold release wax, wax the entire surface, making sure to work small areas at a time. Buff the wax into the surface. After 5 minutes or so, buff the wax off. I performed 4 coats of wax for this layup since this was the first pull. After I pull the first part, I will only apply a single coat and lay up again. Make sure to remove all the residual wax. I will be popping up products in the upper left hand of your screen. These are the products that I'm using to prep this mold and lay up the part. You can buy all of these products at fiberglass.com. We are now ready to start our layup. Unroll your first layer of carbon onto the mirror. This is your tooled surface layer and will be the one everyone sees. This layer should be as perfect as possible. You're going to want to straighten the fibers and make sure your orientation is correct. Tape down the fabric at the edges as needed. Make sure all of your fabric is cut back enough, giving you room for your bag sealant tape that will run the perimeter of your mirror. This is the area I have covered in orange tape. We are now ready for our thickness reinforcements. Since this is a test layup, I am using less expensive fiberglass. This is style 7725. These layers are added the same as the carbon fiber. Trim the material back same as before. I like to keep the remnants for other projects. Add as many layers as required for your project. I will be finishing off this 4-ply layup with one more layer of 2x2 twill carbon fiber. Trim to size and tape into position. Last, we need to add a layer of peel ply. This material is peeled off of your laminate after it is cured and takes the other single-use consumables with it. Without this layer, your infusion mesh will stick to your layup. Make sure your peel ply is slightly larger than the rest of your layers. It's now time to add your infusion mesh. This layer should be slightly smaller than your peel ply and allow your resin to flow freely across your part. At this point in the build, you need to determine what side of the layup will be your resin feed and what side will be your vacuum. I will be feeding resin on the far end. Your vacuum side should have the flow mesh stop 2 to 3 inches short of the edge. This is called a resin break, and you will see how this works in a minute. Remove the edge masking from the perimeter. Watch for loose fibers and strands of material. These need to be trimmed off or tucked away nicely. These can be potential leak paths. Lightly wipe the edges with an alcohol-dampened rag. Carefully inspect the edges for any potential leak paths. This material is called bag sealant tape. It will create the seal between the mirror and the vacuum bag. Where the sealant tape overlaps, peel back the paper to make contact. Trim as needed. This is standard 1/4 inch spiral wrap or spiral tube. It is used as the primary resin highway to deliver the resin to your flow mesh. Insert the end of the spiral into your 1/4 inch resin feed line. Tape into place. Determine your feed line placement and wrap with sealant tape. Peel back the paper and stick it into position. It is also helpful to secure your line so the weight of the hose isn't pulling on the sealant. You can now use tape to secure your spiral down the resin feed side. Trim to length. Unroll your vacuum bag material over your part, making sure that the bag is larger than your panel. Begin by peeling the paper backing in the corners and positioning your bag. Run the bag up and over your feed line and vacuum lines. Stick your bag around the full perimeter. Avoid small wrinkles. Large wrinkles are okay and are actually placed purposely on non-flat parts. These are called pleats. I'll show you how to fill those in a second. Fill the pleats by placing a strip of sealant tape up one side. Then remove the backing and carefully stick the other side of the pleat from the bottom up. The top of the sealant tape should fold over onto itself. Do this to fill all of the pleats. Wrap the end of your vacuum line in a piece of scrap peel ply. This will help slow the resin flow from entering the line. Seal it just like before. Seal the vacuum line in the same manner as your resin feed line. Inspect your full perimeter edges for any potential leaks. Attach your vacuum line to the pump. Fold over your resin feed line and clamp it shut. We are now ready to pull vacuum. Turn on your vacuum pump and work out any wrinkles in your materials. Listen for leaks and fix them. The bag must have a perfect seal. Once you are satisfied, clamp off your vacuum line and turn off the pump. There are many ways to perform a leak check. I like to just make a mental note, pull on the bag, and let it sit for an hour. After an hour, if the bag is loose, I know I have a leak and I have to find it. This bag is good. Mix your infusion resin per the manufacturer's recommendations. Make sure to choose a resin that gives you enough time to complete the infusion. For reference, this infusion took me 27 minutes from first mix to completion. Make sure to scrape the bottom and the sides of your cup, then scrape your stick on the edges of the cup. Continue mixing for at least 2 minutes. Use your mixing stick to secure your feed line into the resin. Try and get the line all the way to the bottom. We are now ready to remove the clamp on our feed line and allow the resin to flow into the part. This is definitely the coolest part of the process, but remember to watch your resin cup and make sure that you do not run out of resin. If needed, clamp your feed line off and mix more. This layup is 4 layers and is 50 by 36 inches, and I used 1,500 grams of mixed resin. It's really cool to watch the air escape out through the vacuum pump and it's replaced with resin. Notice the resin flow is not even. This is where the resin brake comes into play. The resin brake slows the flow of the resin at the end of the infusion, and it allows the resin to evenly distribute and air to escape out the vacuum line. Allow the area with the resin brake to fully saturate. Resin will inevitably enter your vacuum line. I elevated my vacuum line to limit the amount of hose that is ruined at the end of the process. This could be mitigated by having a catch pot. I don't have one, so I'm rolling without one. At this point, the part is fully infused and resin is flowing into the vacuum line. Clamp off your resin feed line and allow it to cure. Leave your pump running, but make sure to watch your vacuum line to make sure it does not fill with the resin. You do not want to get resin inside your vacuum pump. I accelerated my cure by placing it in the hot sun. The dark surface of the resin mesh and the black carbon fiber really heats it up. Make sure your resin is fully cured, and then it's time to take the bag off. For me, this was the hardest part of the whole process. Trying to remove the consumables and peel back the peel ply was extremely difficult. I found it much easier to cut the peel ply into small strips and remove it that way. I also had the problem of my part detooling off of the mirror before I was ready. You can see the part is completely loose at this point. Keep in mind these consumables are sharp. If you take a look at my arm, I got a little bit of a boo-boo. Alright, it's time for the big reveal. So I blow it off, there's a lot of chips and pieces of resin and a lot of trash on the ground. But let's get it flipped and see what it looks like. I couldn't be any more happy with the results from this resin infusion, especially since it was my first try. I couldn't find a single pinhole in this, and it has a great mirror finish. All I have to do at this point is mark out the parts I want and cut them out. If you're still watching this, well, congratulations, you made it to the end. I'd like to thank you for following along, and if you'd like to follow me on my MiahsBug build, I will be incorporating a lot of these carbon fiber panels into the vehicle. I will also be continuing this journey of showing you guys how to build more and more complex carbon fiber parts. If you guys enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe and comment and tell me what I did wrong or what I could do better, or was it perfect? Let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys.